Hey guys, Wonderboat here with the community clinic. Looking at the packs here, got some money with the supply, got some two different like free unlock type things. Let's go with the Rhino specialist actually. I love getting a blue Rhino in round 4. It's just so powerful. And we have like kind of versatile units here. Now we're up against a missile specialist with sledge and marksman. That's a very defensive setup. Now you can always check, does he have assault? He does, so like he does have aggressive potential. Now we're just gonna open up crawlers for now. Go for like a, yeah, this looks fine. Something a little bit aggressive here. We just don't want to get locked on by the marksman, right? So fangs up front, very important. And indeed, he does go for defense. So the reason why I went for crawlers instead of, say, marksman, which I do kind of need to kill the sledges, is because I kind of just prefer phoenixes on aggro. And you don't want marksmans and phoenixes, right? It's a little bit redundant. So I'm kind of making myself weaker this round for, you know, just making my build overall better. Now, in this case, the crawlers actually applied their DPS. And if crawlers ever apply their DPS in this game, it's like the most efficient thing ever. So actually worked out totally fine. Now we're extremely versatile. Like if we get unit reinforcements, we're also super well prepared. So great start to the game here. Now I didn't micro adjust a lot for missile spec. I just did the recommended formation. So yeah, he might get a little bit of a juicy missile. Now, let me quickly discuss this advanced shield. I've tried shielding missile device, and I think it's really high variance. I kind of just recommend letting them do it to you. There's just too much guessing, like they could pop it, and then you're so far behind. Okay, now there's Rhino Assault. That definitely gets me. And I want the Phoenix this round, so... I think we have good money, we have good math to take the Rhino Assault, defend one of the sides, generally place it beneath the tower so it defends this and this at the same time. Like if you do it in the corner, you only defend one, right? So you want to defend two at once. We'll get the Phoenix I mentioned. Always pair it up with your chaff clear. And it's also like you want it in the safe spot, right? So like I do value this more than the left just purely for safety. And then this crawler's job is to slow down the Rhino if it were to be like here, right? So here, this will just come down to RNG, I believe. There's no like enhancements or anything like that. And honestly, I don't mind going for this when the other possibility is either losing the tower instantly or, you know, just delaying it poorly. He does win that 50-50, very sad. And I may have put my Phoenix directly in a missile. My eyes were not looking at it, to be honest. So, whoops. My bad, my bad. Okay, so what do we need? He went up to 3 sledges, and once you get up to 3, that's when I start to feel a little uncomfortable using Phoenixes to kill them. You still can, but you may need to buy a lot. Now, thankfully, Bear like is a homie here. Gives us the Raiden. That's like so good against medium-sized stuff. Now, there are counters to it, like there's a Melter offered. I think he's looking to buy a bunch of arc lights, maybe. Like, that's just so good on defense. But in any case, we take the Raiden. We know the missile strike's going here. I'm going to remember it this time, guys. I'm actually going to say that the 50 resources I spent to unlock it was a mistake. Because, yeah, Raiden was offered, and I just think they're both, like, sort of sniper carry units. And I think this one's just better, especially long-term. I'm actually just going to buy 2 of them. I think they're just so good against him. You know, he's very chaff light. Speaking of chaff, I think the only thing that can counter me is chaff. So let's just get into our dedicated chaff clear. And I'm going to go with Hound here. I know the missile strike's going here. We'll just put it like on the edge. And let's fortify this. There was like, you know, Phantom Ray offered. He can cheese me and all that. Okay, so he went into field maintenance. Let's check the breakpoints. We do still one-shot them. Excellent. And he did buy a little bit of chaff here, the Mustang and the Fang. I feel like our DPS is pretty good with the 2 Raidens. I think we just need to focus on chaff clear and we should be good. We also have a good tank line, which is really important with fragile air carries. So I think it's really just buy a bunch of hounds and we should be good. I think he's in a great position too, just in the sense that like he has a lot of marksmans, and I've been pretty slow at getting up my chaff clear this game. So I think it's anybody's game, but I will say I do think I have the better specialist. Like, I'm about to get such a great unit, the level 2 Rhino, whereas, you know, sure, he's got missiles, but they're not that strong in late game. You just bubble them. So I do like our position, actually. Now, there is Efficient Giant when we already have Raiden unlocked. Definitely good. I don't think either of these two cards matter too much. He already has snipers and the marksman as well, so I actually don't think he's taking anything. And yeah, I mentioned we need chaff clear, but I still will take efficient. I don't know if I'll buy any giants this particular turn. Now the Rhino, do I want it early or late? That's always the question. Up high protects chaff, up behind protects itself, basically. I'll protect himself. He might get in, you know? And because the money's so perfect, we'll just buy 2 more. And if our chaff clear looks terrible, we'll buy the chaff clear. Maybe a bit risky, but we'll go for that. Let's adjust a little bit. That looks pretty good. And no cells I need, so we'll take our free unlock and see what he goes for. Goes for Melter. Was it mass produced? No, Efficient Giant. Okay. So that suggests he wants to buy a lot of probably Melters. So against that, you know, we obviously want something to protect our Raidens from getting locked on. And so that's going to be preferably something that chaff clears. So we're looking at like wanting sledges, hounds, things like that. Raiden shoot up and down, so like our carry potential is just like completely solved. Like maybe we'd struggle to kill like a war factory, but that's about it. That's a good chunk of damage there. And we get unit reinforcements. So I mentioned he's probably going to be spamming melters because he took Efficient Giant manufacturing. And what's good against a bunch of melters? Well, probably the Wasp. The Badgers ain't bad either, right? It's all about tanks. So it's like, what's the better tank, right? Now he has 1 Mustang. That's not enough to dissuade me from Wasp, I'd say. I think honestly just both are good. We'll go for the Fire Badgers, and the reason why is because I mentioned wanting a tank that chaff clears simultaneously, and, well, that's just perfect. Now, these may look really high up, but I don't think he has time to, like, punish it with scorpions and stuff, and I really care about clearing as soon as possible, so we're just going to range them, buy 1 for each fang, and, yeah, basically, we're just super protected. We'll take range on Raidens, not because they need the safety, necessarily, but rather just to shoot that much quicker, I think is quite valuable. And it sort of sets up for the future techs that do reduce the range. Now we're loading for the gut shot here. He has a missile. I suppose we should sell the Rhino. And honestly, don't mind another tech. We're gonna go for... We'll go for chain, since we have the money, why not? We'll go for a little distraction over here, and hopefully that works out. Now the chain we went for is actually good against the wasps. So that's pretty clutch. The reason I did it is purely for like, just DPS reasons, right? Like it's my carry, and it sort of multiplies how good they are. And when you have a lot of things, you generally want to click something that like multiplies your value. Looks like we're looking pretty good here. We even still have Badgers alive. He really needs to kill my front as soon as possible. I don't think the game will go on, but if it did, he's looking to basically go like scorpions or hackers, like something to just kill the front line really quick, even like sentry missiles. Or like multi-melt, but honestly, he's just in a rough position. But like long term, what you need to do against people who do this is to kill the Badgers as soon as possible, right? Like that's the glue that's holding my entire composition together, since these things are fragile, the Raidens, so GG. This has been Wonderboat with Community Clinic. See you next time.